Before I begin this video, I'm just gonna say that it seems like I'm in a super bad mood in it, which I'm not. My voice was just unexpectedly giving out, and my throat felt raw, and it was like sickness all of a sudden was just taking over me. But hopefully you guys still watch this video and like, comment, subscribe. And I'm sorry for the bad attitude I'm seeming to give. It wasn't exactly my fault. It was just like the situation that I was in. So enjoy the video.
Hi DreadCode. Today I wanted to talk about permanent dread extensions. For those who are curious to what permanent dread extensions are, they're just dread extensions that just stay in the hair. I have dread extensions and they just stay in. The first question people ask is, what type of hair do you use for dread extensions? And you can either use real hair, real extension, just regular extension hair, and dread them up, or you can use synthetic hair. And what I used for mine was Kanekalon hair. I know that other dread people use other synthetic hair. I haven't had experience with it, so I can't vouch for it. I know that Kanekalon is really good that I know of, since that's the only synthetic hair I've used. I know that a lot of people have a lot of questions. I know that I did when I was researching it, and it took a lot of digging just to get the basis of what it is. So the first frequently asked question is washing. Can you wash it like you do normal dreads, or is there a special method that you need to use? I wash mine a lot. I wash my dreadlocks a lot carefully now than I did when I had my just normal dreads, because I just don't want anything to get trapped in the synthetic dread. So I just wash them a lot better. It takes a lot longer to wash. And other than that, washing dread extensions is just the same as you would with your normal dreads. You still use the same shampoo as you would with regular dreads. You can do deep cleanses. You can do the apple cider vinegar rinse. You can do the baking soda rinse. Everything that you can do with your normal dreads, you can do with dread extensions. Different products that you can use with dread extensions. I personally, I've never used wax on them. I've never tried the sea salt spray on them, or I've only used coconut oil on them, and that's just to get the excess off my hands from using coconut oil on the top of my normal dreads. Coconut oil is super easy to get out, so that's the only thing that I've used on these. So I crochet them and palm roll them. Make sure that they're nice and tight and neat. And they do tend to loosen up right where I crocheted them into my normal dread. Since my dreads are super tight, I have to crochet them just to make sure that they don't fall out. I've never had a dread extension fall out yet, but I'm just making sure that that doesn't happen. Someone on my Instagram page asked, how do you unpermanent them? It's very easy to do. I've already taken out my first set that I've made. As you can see, brought them here to show. These are like my first set and a half. And I say a half because my very first dread extensions were really crappy, so I took them out and redid them, and I only put in like 8. So I just took them out real quick, and then I put in better looking dread extensions that I made. Okay, you unpermanent dread extensions by taking your dreadlock and finding where you crocheted in the extension, and you just try to pull it apart, and you just have to keep pulling it and pulling it, and just kind of dig your finger in there, and eventually it's gonna start fraying off. So you have to keep doing it, it ends up hurting the tips of your fingers after a while. So you just have to keep working at it while you're watching a movie, TV, just doing whatever. Eventually it is going to come loose. That's a good chunk of it that I just came out. So you just have to keep doing it. The better that you attach the dread in, the harder it's going to be to take it out. It is possible then to take out dread extensions. I've taken them out, these ones out, I've taken out a few times just to make sure that they're all washed. I wash them with a deep cleanse inside of my sink. I leave them there to soak, and I just keep squeezing them, and then I leave them out to dry, then I'll put them back in. But when you do that, it's since there isn't much to dread back in, it's a lot harder to dread back in to your normal dreads, and it's a lot weaker. So I don't recommend doing it that often. But I do recommend taking out the permanent dread extensions and putting in new ones. I would say maybe like every 5 or 6 months if you still need them when you take them out. Just for sanitary reasons. I don't know if anything gets trapped in there, if at all. I don't know. But after a while, they just feel weird. I like how new dread extensions feel in my hair. Another question is, how old do dreads need to be in order to put them in? I would say at least 3 months, because your dread needs to form before you put in the extension, or it's not going to tighten correctly. It's not going to mature. So I would wait at least 3 months. I would recommend 6 months, but if you want to put them in as soon as possible, 3 months would be my recommendation for that. And how to make them. I've backcombed them. I have combs that I've backcombed them with, and you can see that the combs are just totally frayed and messed up. There's still hair from my dread extensions in them. That's both of these I've used for all my sets of dread extensions. So I backcomb them, crochet them, and pull them, roll them. I'll make a separate video to show exactly how to make them, but for the most part, I learned how to make permanent dread extensions from the YouTuber Astrid. I'll leave a link to the video down below, but her video I watched over and over again as I made the extensions to make sure I was doing it correctly. She gives links to the synthetic hair that she uses and what she recommends. That's pretty much how I do it. Now, a good plus for dread extensions is that they get longer. They're longer right away. You don't have to wait for the length to grow out. If you have super short dreads, it's like a blessing. Just put them in real quick and you're good to go. A con from that is that you're taking away from your dreadlock experience. I know I'm pretty bummed that I didn't get to experience the dreadlock journey that a lot of people experienced, because I just needed them long as fast as possible in order to look good for school and for my work. I guess another con is finding the right color for your hair. Obviously, this is not the right color. It's almost, you're not able to tell for the most part, but the lighting, you can see that my dreadlocks are light and then it gets dark. And my first set is lighter, so it's actually the perfect color for it. But when I bought these extensions, I wasn't paying attention to the color that much. I ended up getting darker than I needed, and I don't feel like buying more, so I'm just kind of dealing with it until these get old, and then I'll buy new synthetic hair and I'll redo it. Another con is the size of your dreads, and the size of the extensions is super It's super tedious for me to deal with. I don't like measuring all my dreadlocks to the dreadlock extension. If you make it too big, you make it too small. It's just a big hassle to kind of deal with, at least on my end. I don't know if I can find one that's too small. These ones, my old ones, were a lot of them were too small for the dreadlock, and it looked weird. But or this one, this dreadlock is a little bit too big. You can see where I crocheted in. I feel like I need to crochet it a little bit more. This, yeah, this one is a good example. You can see that the dreadlock is small and then it gets really big. I would practice a few times before actually putting the extensions in your hair. I asked my Instagram of what questions you guys had about dreadlock extensions. One of the questions is, what do you do if they start falling out or become loose where they were connected? Or, like I said, you just crochet them. Crochet and palm roll is the biggest lifesaver for it. If you feel like they're falling out, or maybe there wasn't enough of the dread extension to attach to the dreads, just keep crocheting them. If you need to, take strands of the synthetic hair from the bundle that you have, take it out and just crochet it in to kind of strengthen it. Another question I had was, where can you find them? So you don't necessarily have to make them on your own. I did, because the paying for them is a lot more expensive than just making them yourself. You can find already made dread extensions on eBay, on dread extension websites. I think Dreadlocks sells dread extensions. I'm not too sure about it. I know that they'll make dread extensions as they do your dreads, but I think just making them is a lot cheaper. It's a lot better because you can just size your dreads to the extension instead of hoping that the extensions will fit. But like I said, eBay, Etsy will have them. If you just if you look around, you can find them. But I think that's all the everything I can cover about dread extensions without actually showing you how to make them. I'll show you how to make them in another video, but just making them is gonna make this video like 30 minutes long. If you have any more questions, comments, just comment down below, or comment on the Instagram #DreadCode, or comment under one of the pictures, and I will get to you as soon as I possibly can. Please subscribe if you like these videos, and I'll see you guys next week.